The mainspring barrel on this German box wall clock is quite different than a normal mainspring barrel found on an English or an American clock. When you look at them side by side, they're obviously both barrels. Both have the winding arbor sticking out on the base of the barrel, but when you turn them over you notice there's a difference. This barrel here, this is the top where the spring is removed, and in this one that cap there is removed by banging it on a hard surface, and that cap will pop off, and that is where you remove the spring. Consequently, when I put this on the spring winder in a moment, we can't remove the spring with a sleeve the same way we do from that barrel there. We're going to have to reverse the flow of the operation, and I'm going to show you now how we do that. So this is a normal type mainspring barrel we have. I've removed the cap from the back. The mainspring is exposed there. The next thing we do is we check to find a sleeve that's going to fit inside the brass barrel that will contain the spring once we turn it down on the spring winder, and that is the size we would use. The sleeve is slipped over the top of the winder. The key winder then goes in to the chuck there, and holding the barrel with a pair of leather gloves on, we then wind up the spring. When it gets tight, we slide the sleeve into the spring, turn it around about 1/2 inch to give us a little bit of spring over the end there, then reverse the flow of the spring winder and remove it, then turn the sleeve like so, and the whole end drops out of that lug there, and the spring is contained in the sleeve. So that's how it normally happens. However, this time the spring is on the other side. So I'll get my leather glove. My leather glove seems to have disappeared for the moment. However, what we're doing first is we're going to remove that bezel there with the teeth on it. And the way we do that is we turn it round to that piece of steel there, comes right up to that side of the barrel, and then in theory it should just come off. As you saw, it didn't. It's pretty tight. I might actually have to get my leather gloves. That is tight. That's as far round as that is going to go. It's all the way round. Alright, I'll have to go down to 1 minute. Bit of movement there. There we go. That's got him. The teeth section has come off. Now you can see the spring in there. So what we've got to do now is find a sleeve that is going to fit in there. And that is just too big. You can see it aligns with the outside of the brass barrel. So it means we're going to have to use this one here, and that has a fair gap between the barrel and the sleeve. That means we're going to have to tighten that spring down pretty seriously so that we can get the sleeve on. Alright, I'll get my gloves in a moment, but first up I'll put the winding arbor into the spring winder. Open it up a bit so it fits in. Here we go, tighten it down. And you'll notice this time I'm going to have to put the sleeve on from this side, not from that side there. Alright, back in a minute. I'll have to get some leather gloves from somewhere. I've found one of my leather gloves. So what we'll do now is I'll hold the barrel quite tightly with my left hand and turn the spring winder, and you'll see the spring reducing in diameter, and it's not going to go down very much more than that, I don't think. Maybe not. I think that's as small as it's going to go, and that sleeve is not going to fit. It should go there and drop over the lug there. Well, there we go. What do you know, it's just fitted in. I'll turn that round a little bit. Now we'll reverse the flow of the spring winder, and the spring will be contained there pretty much immediately, I would think. Right, undo the spring winder, take it out. That is really tight. I'll get a torch to show you that. There you can see how tightly the spring is contained within that sleeve. Also, when I take it out in a moment, you'll see that there's about 1/2 inch or thereabouts of spring sliding out of the sleeve, and that is exactly what you want. If this piece here is inside the sleeve and you've only got about that much of the hole end available to catch on that lug in there, you can just see down the bottom there, then you're going to have a hard time trying to get that end piece to catch in there. And how we do that, we just slip it in and then spin it backwards, and it catches, then it goes back onto the machine. We wind it down a tiny bit and take the sleeve off. Alright, so that's what we've got at the moment. There's our empty barrel, there's our mainspring contained in the sleeve. Next step, the winding arbor is put back into the mainspring winder, and the end of the spring is caught up in that hook there. Now what we're going to do is reverse the flow of the winder, hold the sleeve, wind the spring down a tiny little bit, it won't go very far, and then remove the sleeve. Now reverse the flow of the winder, and being very careful, I haven't got my glove on, but I'm winding it very slowly, as you can see, and the spring is slowly unwinding. We don't want it to go spring and jump off the spring winder. And there it is. We've now removed the spring from the sleeve. The next thing we're going to do, we'll leave the spring there because we'll clean it on there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clean the spring with kerosene, then we're going to grease it, and then we're going to put it back into the sleeve, and then we're going to put the sleeve back into the barrel, remove the sleeve and put the top on again, and that spring then is cleaned, greased and ready to go back into the movement. Right, I've got a little bit of blue kerosene in this container here. This is a piece of scour pad. I'm going to put a little bit of kero onto the scour pad on either end. Shake the excess off and squeeze it down so it gets wet all the way around. Now we'll take the scour pad, wrap it round the end of the spring, start wiping it backwards and forwards to remove the grease and oil and dirt and anything else that happens to be on the spring. You can hear the spring winder automatically unwinding. That's because it's clamped down to the desk. If it wasn't, it'd be on the floor by now. Right, I'll turn that again to open up a bit more. But we're getting down to the tight end of the spring now, and it's not going to open much more from there, though there is a reasonable amount of oil on there, I just noticed. Working backwards down the length of the spring with our scour pad. I'll just wipe my hands here now. Alright, next step, piece of clean cloth, wrap it round the mainspring and pull the mainspring out through the cloth. So what we're doing is we're removing the kerosene and the oil and dirt and everything else that's accumulated there over many years of use and misuse. Look at that, that's what we've removed so far. Alright, we'll use the other end and run back again, slowly, letting the spring run through the cloth, making sure it doesn't jump off the spring winder, and that's the gunk that we've got off it. Alright, before we grease the spring, take another piece of clean cloth and once again run up the mainspring, keeping a tight grip on it so that we remove anything else that is on the spring, right up to the top, and then once again letting it run all the way down. And that's all we got from the second clean, that little bit of discoloration there. So you can see that the mainspring's pretty clean now. That's what we got off it the first time, and that's what we got for the second time. Right, we're now ready to grease the spring. We don't use oil on a clock spring because once the spring gets compressed, the oil tends to be squeezed out and drops down and gets into the woodwork and makes a mess of the woodwork. Also, it very easily becomes a magnet for dust and dirt, and in very little time you've got a grinding paste happening. Alright, so as usual, PTFE grease on a toothpick, and I'll bend the spring around a bit so you can see it. Then we run round on the inside of the spring all the way round, depositing grease as we go. We don't need a lot because once we compress the spring, the grease will be distributed evenly around the coils, and any excess, which there will no doubt be, we'll wipe off with another clean cloth, and the spring will be set up for another 4 or 5 years of use. Just slowly, methodically work round. Right, now we're going to put the spring back into the sleeve. I've reversed the flow of the spring winder. I've put the hook into the whole end here, and I'm going to hold the spring as I turn it so it doesn't jump out. We have to wind it up literally as far as it will go for it to fit into the sleeve, and that is as far as it will go, and you can see the excess grease coming out there. I'll get a cloth and wipe that off before we put it back into the sleeve. Run round and pick the excess grease off there, and you can be quite sure that the spring, both sides of each coil, have now got grease on them. That'll dramatically reduce any friction. Alright, next step. There's a hole in our sleeve. We slide that on over the top of the spring and in between the hook and the spring, and then turn it round about that amount, round about 1/2 inch or just over, so that we've got sufficient to be able to catch it on the hook inside the barrel. Once again, reverse the flow of the spring winder and it'll turn once or twice, and there we go, it's fully contained. Now take the spring out, and there we have it. There's a little bit of grease on that. I'll give it another wipe. We don't want excess grease anywhere. And down inside there, and that's looking pretty good, nice and clean. Alright, now next step is we find where the lug is in the barrel, which is there. It's pointing in that direction, so it means obviously that the spring has to go in this way, and we wind it that way to catch it. So push the spring down into the barrel as far as it'll go, and then wind it backwards. And you can see now that the whole end of the mainspring has caught on that lug there. That's the spring there. So we just continue to turn it. So that's now caught there. Alright, once again, back into the spring winder. I'll loosen that off. There we go. Reverse the flow of the winder. Put a glove on. This shouldn't let go, but you never want to take the chance. Grip the sleeve, wind up the spring winder as tight as it will go, and then pull the sleeve out, which it doesn't look like it wants to do. That's it, there's the sleeve. Now reverse the spring winder and let the spring wind down. Can't see it because of my glove, but there it is. I'll take my glove off now, take the barrel out of the spring winder, and there's our spring. Cleaned, greased, back in its barrel. The last thing to do now is to find the top of the tooth section over those metal pieces there, push it down, and then wind it back in that direction. That's going to require a leather glove. It was pretty tight to get out, and it's not going to be any easier to get back in. Alright, I'll drop that in. Here we go, and that is not easy to get in. Alright, that's how one of these mainspring barrels is taken apart, the spring cleaned, greased, and then put back into the barrel. Approximately the reverse of what we do with the normal one. A huge thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members who make this video possible. Without their kind help, I would not be able to keep this channel alive and to make these videos for a living. I can't thank them enough. If you want to support my channel, join my Patreon or YouTube, or make a $2 donation on my Ko-fi page.